Tensions along the 2,600-kilometer Durand Line have exploded into one of the fire-cast Pakistan-Afghanistan confrontations in years. What began as strikes and explosions in Kabul has spilled over into deadly exchanges across multiple frontier posts, reopening old wounds between two neighbours long tied by history, insurgency and mutual suspicion. Tonight we unpack what happened, why it matters for regional security and who stands to gain or lose.
The violence erupted late on October 11 when Taliban forces in Afghanistan launched coordinated attacks on Pakistani military posts along the Durand Line in what the Taliban described as retaliation for airstrikes in Kabul earlier that week. Exchanges of heavy fire were reported at multiple points in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Angur Adda, Bajaur, Kurram, Dir and Chitral and in Balochistan's Bahram Chah. The immediate trigger was a series of explosions in Kabul and in Paktika province earlier in the week. Afghan officials said the blasts, which rocked the capital and a civilian market, followed Pakistani strikes aimed at Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan operatives believed to be travelling in the city. Islamabad has not publicly taken formal credit for the Kabul strikes but has repeatedly insisted it will act against militants it blames for deadly operations inside Pakistan if those militants operate from Afghan soil. Each side paints the other as the aggressor, and independent verification of many strike and casualty claims remains limited.
सरहदी इलाकों में जो हमारे दूर दराज इलाके हैं वहाँ पे कुछ अटैक हुआ है, हम उसकी मज़म्मत करता है और हम पाकिस्तान हुकूमत का ये काम एक बड़ा गलती समझता है.
Afghanistan's Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi, who was on an official visit to India this week, told that the situation had been brought under control. He said Afghanistan's partners including Qatar and Saudi Arabia urged restraint and that the Taliban government had halted further hostilities.
हमारे दोस्त ममालिक जैसा कतर और सऊदी अरबिस्तान उन्होंने ख्वास्ता उन्होंने तलब किया कि अभी जंग रुकना चाहिए, तो हमारे तरफ से जंग रुका हुआ और अभी हालात कंट्रोल में हैं, तो हम अच्छा ताल्लुकात चाहते हैं.
Once a close patron of the Taliban, Pakistan now finds itself on the receiving end of its former proxy's firepower. Islamabad had expected the Taliban to reign in the TTP after 2021, but instead terrorists have grown stronger. A United Nations report confirmed that Taliban fighters have supplied weapons and logistical aid to the TTP, a group ideologically aligned with them and responsible for major terror attacks in Pakistan, including the 2014 Peshawar Sool massacre. That history of patronage has now frayed into outright confrontation, a dangerous shift for a region that still bears the scars of decades of insurgency.
I think Afghanistan need stabilization, need tranquility, need peace. Afghanistan have suffered enough over the last 5 decades, ever since the invasion of Afghanistan by the Soviet Union and the interfighting among different factions in Afghanistan. So again, to flare up a tension between Pakistan and Afghanistan is not in the favor of any part of any countries, the stakeholder in the region, including India, South Asian region. So it's not a time for a war. And that was the Prime Minister of India have said it. It's not an era of wars. And I think Pakistan has to understand that solving a problem with Afghanistan, it's of their own interest first.
Analysts say Pakistan's airstrikes and years of interference in Afghanistan's internal politics have now backfired. The Taliban views Pakistan's cross-border operations as direct aggression, while Islamabad accuses Kabul of sheltering terrorists. This cycle of blame and retaliation threatens to push both nations towards an uncontrolled conflict, endangering an already fragile region.
This development has taken place, and obviously the responsibilities for this kind of retaliation which Afghan government has done against Pakistan is of Pakistani creation. And Pakistan had carried out strikes inside Afghanistan, killing several innocent people, and Foreign Minister of Afghanistan, who is currently on a week-long visit to India, Mr. Muttaqi, he has condemned this attack of Pakistan on Afghanistan, and obviously he had promised for this kind of retaliation, which the Afghanistan has done it. And in this retaliation, 12 Pakistani soldiers have died, and obviously Pakistan has got the strong response from Afghanistan. And it is quite clear that the relationship between Afghanistan and Pakistan at this point of time is very low, and it is worsening rather.
For now, the border remains tense but calm, with crossings like Torkham closed and troops redeployed. Once hailed as brothers in arms, Pakistan and the Taliban are now adversaries on the frontier that has never been fully recognized by Kabul. The episode exposes a harsh truth. Pakistan's decades-old strategy of nurturing militant proxies has come full circle, leaving its western border in flames and its regional credibility in ruins.